If you have buy-to-let properties, if you are a business owner, if you have various other things where you are getting income outside of your job, you will need to do a self-assessment every year. That time comes around very quickly. I have a specific way of kind of setting up and documenting everything that's happened in the year. I think I only introduced this in like 2020 after about 9 years of doing it. I had to write myself a little notepad sort of text document to just remind myself every year the process that I need to go through. January 31st is self-assessment time. If you have buy-to-let properties, if you are a business owner, if you have various other things where you are getting income outside of your PAYE job, you will need to do a self-assessment every year. That time comes around very quickly. The end of January is the deadline for online submissions, which most people do nowadays. And I always find it's just like a really stressful time where I try not to leave it to the final week. And I had been this time round, like asking my accountant for, what do you need? Can we have a chat? Because literally the final deadline day of the 31st of January, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, was when I got my draft calculations from my accountant, which I absolutely hate. I have a specific way of kind of setting up and documenting everything that's happened in the year. I've been doing self-assessment since 2011. This is my sort of folder directory where I sort of hold all of the information. So basically I just store it in these files. I send a OneDrive link to my accountant and they have access then to everything that I've put into the various sections within those folders. So when you click into 2023, 2024, for example.
If this video resonates with you and you can take away just one thing that makes your business better, then creating this video would have been a success. If you are getting value, click the subscribe button down below. It would mean so much. Back to the video.
You will have this set of folders within it. That's the accountant and legal fees, bank interest, charity donations, council tax, dividends, expenses, food and drink, expenses maintenance, expenses other, expenses travel, expenses utility bills, mortgage interest, P60, rent statements, and student loans. So there might be a couple of things additional to that, but I find this just a really good way of, as and when things come in. So if I've had to replace a washing machine on one of my buy-to-lets, for example, as soon as that invoice comes in from my agent, I just document it and drop it in the OneDrive folder for maintenance expenses, so that come the end of the year, I'm not literally having to search through every single email from my agent, hoping that I can find some reference to a cost that I've found in my spreadsheet. It does get to a point where I think I only introduced this in like 2020 after about 9 years of doing it, but I had to write myself a little notepad sort of text document to just remind myself every year the process that I need to go through. So downloading all of my bank statements, generally do that in a Excel format. So just a reminder to myself that I've got a Halifax current account, a Santander current account, an Amex credit card, all this sort of stuff. Just downloading all of those in an Excel format, dropping them into my relevant folders, highlighting my mortgages, insurance, etc. on the bank statement so that the accountant can clearly see, the ins and outs of each property, for example. I have a color coding system for different businesses. So Aura yellow, XP blue, all my personal costs are in green, making sure that I've, as early as I can, got my P11D, which is for company cars, and my P60 from my accountant, so I can drop those into the folder, checking my repairs and maintenance invoices, looking at any bank interest for the accountants to add to the statements, to add to the calculations. Any charity donations, I'll typically print those email receipts and drop them as a PDF into one of my folders. Any other expenses and receipts that I can gather. If I've not done it throughout the year, which glutton for punishment in that perspective, I don't always, as soon as I spend something, put it somewhere safe. It might be that I take a photo of it and then forget for 3 months before then putting it in a folder system, and then any completion statements for any sales proceeds. So hopefully that's useful for a few people. I know people do it in many different ways, but I thought I'd show the structure and the process that I go through for self-assessments.
If you got value from this video, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and ring the notification bell, because we release one video at least every week, so you'll be the first to get notified. See you on the next one.